Hey there, Wargamers. Jstncloud here with another episode of my Tactical Tuesday series, and this time I'm going to try and get back on track with my analysis of Tau units, specifically for anyone who's getting into the Tau army, to help inform them so they can make purchases for models that fit into their army quite well. First of all, as you can see here, I have a hammerhead on the right. In the middle, I have a broadside. On the left, I have a couple of drones. These are proxying as sniper drones right now because I don't own any, and I will explain why. I'm going to start with the heavy support choices for Tau include the sniper drone team, both broadside variants, whether you equip them with missiles or plasma rifles or the high-yield missile pods. You also have the hammerhead, which can either be the hammerhead, a ion head, it's still a hammerhead with the ion cannon turret, or the Skyray missile launcher. Same general principle, different turret. The Skyray is its own entry, has its own rules, but it's going to look about the same. So for the sake of the discussion, the hammerhead's going to be all three, and I will just explain the differences. So first off, if you're new to Tau and you're looking to get units, these sniper drones, as I've got here as proxies, I wouldn't necessarily put those on the list of things to get, in my opinion. While they are interesting, I feel like the Tau pretty much have plenty of anti-infantry shots. The additional shots from the sniper teams just don't seem to be that efficient to me, and the fact that the model count on them is a little bit low, and to purchase them dollar-wise is a little expensive, I've personally not chosen to invest in them. I have broadsides and hammerheads because I feel like point for point and dollar for dollar, they're more bang for your buck. So, obviously I'm a little biased. I don't like these too much. I'm going to slide these out of the way. And my discussion is really going to focus on these two guys. I'm going to start with the broadside. I have done a video reviewing the broadside before, talking about the differences between running the rifle or running the missile variant. Whichever variant you go with has pros and cons. The rifle variant is better for taking out vehicles, even though it's only strength 8, so Land Raiders are basically immune, which is why a lot of players have opted to use the missile variant. And dollar for dollar and point for point, a unit of 3 broadsides with the smart missile systems and the high-yield missile pods, they're putting out a lot more shots than those sniper drones would be, and they're really efficient at taking out infantry and light vehicles and shooting at some of the flyers, considering most flyers have lower armor value. So the missiles give you a lot of options for shooting at things. That being said, your choices may be fluff-oriented. I'm not a big fan of the, quote, flavor of the month, so I have the rifle broadsides. I sometimes proxy them as the missiles, but I like the aesthetics as well of the rifle over the missile pods. Kind of feel like he has hands, whereas the missile pods, his hands are missiles, which is kind of weird. That being said, not a bad choice, particularly if you are getting into town, you have an Aegis defense line, you want to have something to put out lots of shots, maybe you're playing low point games. The broadside can do that for you. 2+ armor save, put him behind the Aegis, give him that 4-up cover. Not a bad choice. He can also take some drones with him, which is not bad either, giving you an increased amount of firepower if you get the, I believe they're missile drones. The only downside to that is if you lose one drone, let's say he takes 2, you lose one drone, he's forced to take a leadership test, because that's 33%. If he only buys one drone and you lose that one drone, that's still a leadership test. So depending on how you build the broadside and whether you're having just one or a maxed out unit, the drones could make or break you. They could be potentially hazardous. So keep that in mind if you're a new or veteran player and you're considering the broadside. Now, over here we have the hammerhead, and it is equipped with smart missile systems on the bottom, and this one has the rail cannon on the top. When they changed the codex, they changed what was formerly burst cannons that they had, and there used to be 2 burst cannons. Now they've integrated that system into 1. The range on the burst cannon is very, very short. It puts this vehicle in danger, and the smart missile systems can fire regardless of line of sight and ignore cover. So it seemed prudent to have the smart missiles over the burst cannons, simply for the fact that the burst cannons have a lower range. I think they're 18. You really don't want to be that close with this tank, particularly because the gun has 72 inches, which I believe is 6 feet. So firing 6 feet versus having to get up close and personal with your short-range guns didn't make much sense. The smart missile systems have a little bit increased range and give this a little bit more of a threat range sitting in your back field. That being said, the alternate variant for this, which would be the different turret here, would be the ion cannon, which currently is probably the most popular variant of the Hammerhead. The railgun shoots a Strength 10 AP1 single shot, and it's not twin-linked. It's pretty much death to whatever it hits. Land Raiders have the highest probability of living with the 14 armor value, but this is the armor killer if you can hit. It can also, now with the change in the codex, you have to pay for it, but you can also buy the submunition shells, which allows this to fire a large blast template. I believe it's Strength 5, AP5, or something along those lines. Not bad for anti-infantry. However, the ion cannon, it's got a higher AP value at the expense of strength, but it fires a template, which, although this can fire a template for anti-infantry, the ion cannon's template is AP3, I believe. So that template is going to be more devastating than this one, although not quite as useful against high armor vehicles, though in 6th edition we're not seeing as many high armor vehicles. So, short of a Land Raider, the ion cannon is probably going to be able to handle anything you shoot at. With all that being said, I like my railguns. That's what I was accustomed to in the previous edition, so I have kept them. Sometimes I proxy, sometimes I don't. But I feel that you can get some anti-armor shots in there and high AP or low AP shots built into your army in other places, and you can be a little bit more flavorful than having to spam the ion cannon. However, as a new player, you're looking for a heavy support choice that is going to give you bang for your buck and bang for your points. The Hammerhead, specifically with the ion cannon variant, is really efficient, really good range, and it's good at killing just about everything. You can't go wrong with the ion cannon. Your opponents might not like it if you're running 3 of them, but if you're a new player and you're just starting low points and you're going to get a single Hammerhead, maybe 2, the ion cannon's not bad. The last heavy support choice for the Tau is on the same chassis as the Hammerhead, but it is the Skyray missile launcher. So its turret, again, here would be different. It has a networked marker light in it. The key reason to bring a Skyray is probably if you're looking to have some anti-air options. When it goes to fire every turn, it can choose whether to have Skyfire or not. So it can fire missiles at flyers at ballistic skill, which is not bad. The downside is it carries a finite number of missiles, which I believe is 6, might be 8. And that's a problem. You're not guaranteed all your shots. I think you can fire 2 of those a turn. And I feel like the Hammerhead, the Ion Hammerhead, are better than the Skyray, and you can bring in other anti-air options throughout the rest of your army that make the Skyray obsolete, in my opinion. Which leads me to my discussion that I will talk about next week, the elite choices for Tau, which are the stealth suits, the crisis suits, and the Riptide. And the Riptide, I think right now, has got some really good options for anti-air, and that is partially why the Skyray is obsolete. So, with that being said, I hope this was in some way informative for someone considering getting into Tau, maybe a player who's a veteran of 40K but not as familiar with the new Tau. I will apologize that these models are not painted. I have a broadside finished right now. However, it's with Austin. He took some of my models to Valhalla to play, and my painted broadsides with him. As many of you know, I paint for Brush for Hire as my job, so I don't have a lot of time to get to my own models. It's almost blasphemy, but that is the case as it is. So hopefully this was informative. If you guys liked it, please like and subscribe. Please do not hesitate to comment below. Let me know what you liked or didn't like, and interact with me. I'm willing to listen to what you guys have to say and try and improve my YouTube channel. So thank you for watching, and as always, happy wargaming.